Sith Industries, but I actually I increased. It's now Sith Enterprises.
Yeah, it's kind of cringe, because we're at the Bird conglomerate. We have multiple businesses, actually, multiple. So
That's
we
cool.
we span from.
I have a bunch of subsidiaries, so I don't need to have my last name on all of them.
Yeah, I heard they're going bankrupt. I heard the business is not going too well.
It's not true.
Yeah, I mean, I heard even your.
Quarterly meeting earlier this month. That's not true. So but thank you for your input.
That's interesting because I was at that meeting because I'm a stockholder of your company and you're
actually
over $2 billion in debt.
You're a stockholder, one of my subsidiaries, and we are not in debt.
I mean, you could do the finances all you like. I know you hired one of the best at hiding finances, but my people here look through the documents and it's not looking good. That's all
I actually hired another. Actually, you guys have the same last name now I think about it. Do you know someone named...
No, not me.
Oh, yeah, I hired someone named Bird. And, yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
He does the finances.
Well, it's not going well then.
So, I'll have a talk with him. Maybe I need to, change his position.
No. I think I will have a talk with him because I'm the majority stockholder. And I think the CEO of might need to be fired. That's all I'm going to say.
No, I'll have a conversation with him. I am.
No. You're the owner, but I'm the majority stock. I own most of your company. I own 70%. You were in major debt, and that's why you went public. And I was like, okay, I'll help a friend out. I'll help. Yeah, because I bought it all, so now it's private. That's why it's not public.
It's been private. We've never went public whatsoever.
You went public for 2 days, and the stock price was so low.
Allow me to tell everybody the truth. Allow me to tell everybody the truth about Bird Conglomerate. Okay, Bird Conglomerate.
It's the Bird Conglomerate. There's a the.
Bird the Conglomerate. So what? Let me tell everybody the truth about your position there. You're the principal trash person,
Listen to him. Listen how you can't even think of what you need to say.
I can't think of a job title because you made it.
Yeah.
You tried to visualize the job title, and it's really just like you take out trash. You're not even doing well.
I know I'm not doing well because there's some trash I own right now. The Blake Industries, Blake Enterprises.
You're not the best at taking out the trash, So
I am not the best because I need to throw away my stock options.
I had to buy you guys out.
The person who bought your company buys it out. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting how that works.
No.
But it's okay. It's okay because I'm.
Let's get to the podcast about it.
No.
Let's get past this. If not, I'm gonna, go elsewhere. I'm very wanted on a lot of podcasts. Okay, a lot of podcasts.
I remember. I was actually re-listening to some old podcasts, similar to how Blake Enterprises is, where you say you're going to do something and you don't. Typical Blake Enterprises. I remember you were going to make a podcast. The Blake's Podcast, I believe it was called.
No, it was not called the Blake's Podcast. And similar to the conversation I had earlier, my current job interfered with a lot of creative.
Okay, sure, yeah, okay, yeah. Anyway, ignoring this pathetic.
That's why you're in Hong Kong for.
Too far.
You're only in Hong Kong for literally 2 more weeks.
Wait. Let me turn the camera around if I can do that.
She hasn't even stopped driving, and she pulled out the freaking breakfast sandwich that she bought.
Do you see that?
Can't stand it. Hold on.
Wait.
There we go.
Yeah, got the counter.
That is pathetic. But hey man, that's really good. That's really good. All right, but look, let's get this show on the road. I have until 11 a.m. and then I have another meeting.
It's literally 9 right now. You think I'm going to be talking about this for freaking 3 hours?
Knowing you, there's no telling. It's 9:48 actually. So let's get started.
You're not going to see anything?
You're not going to do that?
How many times have I told you this? I don't do that anymore. I've stopped doing that for years.
Just for okay. So to all the loyal listeners, and today Jabari's going to be regaling us in a tale that recently happened.
So I was telling everyone on Instagram that I'm leaving. Just posting on stories like, hey, I'm leaving soon. And one person hits me up. They're like, oh man, Jabari, wait a minute. Let me get back into
Are we
the
gonna get a name?
bathroom. No, because I don't feel like this coming back to bite me.
Okay.
Even though it
Okay.
probably wouldn't, but I mean, honestly, this would probably make me look better because since it's fresh on my mind, so it makes my what do you call it? It makes my story more reliable. But
Yeah.
anyway, so what happens?
So go ahead and give
I
us a
was
name then.
to be honest, this is the crazy part. I don't even know their name. That tells you how much
Wow.
they are a friend. Because I knew them from 2021, and I never knew their name because everyone has all these fake names. People have English names, Chinese names, so I never know what any of these people's names are. To
Yeah.
be honest, I'm not sure if I know one person's name from here, even if they're well. No, I know one person, only one person.
What about your
Actually,
friend
well,
from the rock climbing gym?
I forgot what his name was.
Wow.
But anyway,
I mean, you
I don't
guys
even know
hung
if I
out a
told the
lot. You
story
know,
in this.
slept over each other's houses and everything. But continue. What are you holding
See,
on to?
what do you mean?
what
What are you talking about?
are you holding on to, Jabari?
What are you talking I don't know what you mean.
What were you reaching your
I don't know
left
what you.
arm up and grabbing onto? You
I
had a
don't know
death
what.
grip onto something.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, I'm at my office right now, as you see. I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing
Looks
to grab
very.
onto.
Wait, but so where's your office located?
I have multiple offices. I'm about to close this one down. This is my Hong Kong office. So
But
yeah,
where is this office located?
I say Hong Kong, but I'm about to close it down. The workers aren't that great.
So if it's located in Hong Kong, then why is there daylight?
There isn't daylight. It's the lights.
It,
See, I knew you were. I knew you were just.
look outside the freaking window. You literally can see the other building on the other side of the street
I don't
because
know
of the
what
daylight.
you're talking about. That's not the.
First,
You're being really dumb right now. That's just the other
first you were holding
office.
on to the. Okay. Continue.
So anyway, so I was saying like, oh yeah, I'm leaving soon, blah 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 blah. And they're like, oh Jabari, we should hang out one more time before you leave. And me thinking like, this is, I'm like, oh wow, someone actually cares. Someone from Hong Kong. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm like, well, okay, someone actually like, will miss me. So I'm like, sure. By the way, I mean, I already told you, but just for the viewers, there was no romantic interest at all from this person,
No,
like at
well,
all.
from what you told me earlier is that okay. So what you told me earlier, Jabari, is that you actually found this girl very attractive.
I don't
You know,
know how you heard that in anything I said
your
at
your
all.
words
From
exactly
everything I
were
said from that,
she's
that is
your
not my
words
exact
exactly were
words.
she
I think my
is
exact
top.
words were something I
You
cannot say.
said top. She's top
Okay,
three beautiful women I've ever seen in my life.
I'm not even sure if I've seen the top three women in general the whole time I've been here. But
No, you have.
I'm not even
She's
sure I've seen
beautiful.
top 20. But anyway,
It's because you're a
so
maniac.
before I was crazily interrupted for literally it just tells you why Blake Industries is not doing well. You can't focus. No focus. No focus in the companies, and that's why they're in debt. But don't worry, I bailed them out.
Stop going off on
Typical,
tangents and
typical,
just
but they're calm.
just continue on with the story. What are you holding
But
on
anyway,
to?
what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You mean? Anyway, so I was like, oh man, someone actually cares. Someone actually like cares that I'm leaving. So I'm like feeling pretty good, feeling like, oh man, there's some, maybe I did actually make some friends here because this person I knew from 2021, but I never really hung out with. I hung out with them once since I've been here for 2023/2024, and then I didn't do it again for basically technically almost the same reasons that I'm not that happened now because I just don't mesh with them. I don't think they're that
Because you
great
find
of a
her extremely
person.
attractive.
No. If that were true, then I would hang out with them more. But I only hung out with them 2 times. And each time was only for, just because they said, like, oh, okay, you want to hang out. Because, first time was because I returned to Hong Kong. And now because I'm leaving. But anyway, so it happened yesterday. So I was like, okay, we can just have dinner. And I purposely, by the way, did it for Thursday because I wanted an excuse to not hang later after that dinner, to be honest.
Okay.
So you got to think ahead like that. Because I was like, if I do it on the weekends, then I won't have an excuse to be like, oh no, I gotta go to work tomorrow, so I'm planning to go back home right after dinner. So purposely did Thursday, and
Okay. Pretty smart.
we
Pretty smart.
so we were going to go to this like dessert place, or at least I thought it was a dessert place, because there are these certain places I wanted to go through in Hong Kong. So I was like, oh, there's this dessert place that I thought might be good. It's like called Hakari or something, like some Japanese place.
Yeah.
So we go there, and it turns out it's not a dessert place. It's not even a Japanese place. It's just a normal place. But the whole time she's already complaining. She's like, oh man, this place is like the ghettos of Hong Kong. I'm like, huh? Like, this looks like how all of Hong Kong looks. Like, literally all of Hong Kong looks the same. There's no, like, rich part of Hong Kong. All of it looks like this. So I don't know what kind of bougie place she comes from, where she's like, oh, this is like the ghetto of Hong Kong. And she's from mainland, by the way. So I'm like, I don't know what type of, like, rich places you've been to, because it seems like everywhere it's the same, like, it's the same city look. So she's like, oh, the ACs are dripping. I'm like, everywhere the ACs drip in this freaking city. Like, or at least in my head, I'm thinking that. So she's already like complaining, acting all bougie. It's not like she's rich or anything. Or at least I don't think. So I'm like, this is like, it's ruining the vibe. Like, hearing someone just complain, like openly complain. She's being rude to the servers and stuff. And then we go to the menu. I'm like, okay, I can find like maybe something to eat.
I'm listening.
No. No. Go ahead. Turn your camera back on. No, go ahead. Let the viewers see. Let the viewers see. No. Turn your camera back on. You can just keep it muted. Let them see you being. No. Put it back. No, put it back. You can just mute your mic. No, go ahead. Let the viewers see. Go ahead.
All right. It's my first day playing drums, or practicing drums, or learning rather.
But anyway,
I just had to disclose that, just in case. Yeah.
No, but it'll be muted, so they just. I guess I'll have something to look at while I explain the story. But anyway, so like we went to the menu. She's already complaining about the menu, like, oh man, this food doesn't look that great. This doesn't like have it doesn't look too special. So I was like, what the heck? Why are you complaining about like this stuff? Like in my head, I'm like, we're literally like I'm not hanging out with you just to eat some fancy food. I just want it's just to talk. I'm thinking, oh, it's just so you can, like, we can discuss, like, my leaving or whatever, or just have, like, a catch-up. So then she's like, no, I don't want to eat here. So, like, I was like, okay, we could just go to another restaurant. So we get up and go to another restaurant. So we're walking around, and she's already I was like, oh, we could just walk towards, like, since this place is, like, ghetto, apparently. I was like, oh, we can just walk because she lives close by the way. I know a block makes a difference in cities, but still. So I was like, okay, we can just go somewhere. And she's like, no, I don't feel like walking. So I'm like, okay. So it's already like a bad mood. So anyway, we end up at this one place where there's a Vietnamese restaurant and a Malaysian restaurant. And she was like, oh man, I love Malaysian food. Like, oh, I've been here before. And I was like, okay, like, I don't mind either way because I don't like any of the food here, to be honest. I don't like any of it. So I was like, I'll find something to eat because, so I don't care what variation of the same food we get. Just pick one. I mean, I said that in my head. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. So first she wants to the Vietnamese because she'd never been to that Vietnamese restaurant. But she's like, oh, yeah, I want Vietnamese. So we walk in and I'm like, okay, I'll just get some pho, I guess. Or pho or whatever. She's like, it's not pronounced pho. I was like, in my head, I'm like, are you stupid? It's literally pronounced that way. But I'm like, okay, whatever. She's an idiot. And, some people are dumb. So anyway, I'm like, okay, I'll get this. I'll just get some noodles. And she's spending 15 minutes looking through all the options. She's like, oh, this menu is confusing. And I'm like, it's literally not that confusing. But whatever. She's still complaining. So you get the vibe. She's just like complaining about it. I don't know what type of mood she's in. It's weird. So anyway, we leave that one. We leave that restaurant because, she couldn't find something to eat. So then we went to the Malaysian one. And they told us, like, I see it's full. And I know how Hong Kong is. So it's full. And I'm like, hey, are you sure you want to go to this one? Because, like, we're probably going to have to wait a while. We might have to wait 20 minutes. She's like, no. So she wants to go in and ask. And they're like, oh, you're second in line. And I'm looking in the restaurant. I'm like, yeah, we're second in line, but it seems like everyone who just got in the restaurant, like everyone seems like they just got into the restaurant, like there's no dishes out. So it doesn't matter that we're second in line. We're going to have to wait a long time. And then I was like, hey, like I'm explaining this, and she's just like, well, I guess not, but how people are here, they'll just ignore it. They'll act like, it doesn't matter, even though I'm 100% right. So, me, I'm not a pushover. I'm going to not wait. I don't care. I'm not going to wait 30 minutes to eat food because I didn't come here to eat or to eat the food. I came here just to talk to someone. And she invited me. So, like, what the heck? So anyway, I say, hey, you ask the server how long it's going to take because I have a feeling it's going to take over 20 minutes. And then the server was like, oh, she finally asked, and the server said, oh, it's going to take around 25 minutes. But me, I know how Hong Kong is. They lie. So it's actually going to take like 37 minutes. Like you got to add like 1.5. You got to multiply it by 1.5 anytime they give a time estimate because they just lie and they think people are just dumb. They just say it. They don't really give an estimate. Like in America, they'll give an estimate and it's usually longer. Like, you'll say, oh, I'll be there in 20 minutes. It actually takes 30 minutes.
Correct.
Which, it's still a lie, but it's kind of based off of a general estimate. You just make it a little bit shorter. Here, they'll just say anything. They won't, it's not a time estimate. They're just saying a time just to get you to, stop talking. So, like, hey, how long does it take? And they're like, oh, 5 minutes. And next thing you know, you're there for an hour waiting. But anyway, so I was like, I'm not waiting for this Malaysian restaurant. I just straight up told her, I'm not waiting for this. Like, I'm not that hungry I'm not that interested in the food to wait 30 minutes. Like, we could look for other places while we're waiting. And if we can't find somewhere, we can walk back and it'll probably be enough time for us to be ready since it's going to take like 30 minutes. So finally she agrees. We walk one place. She's like, oh, this looks good. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So we're eating. Finally, we're eating. And, I'm trying to talk about cause she invited me, by the way. So I'm trying to talk about anything. They're like, oh yeah, I'm leaving. Yeah. And she's like, oh, why? I was like, yeah, basically it's just that I'm homesick. And, I'm kind of relenting some of the stress, saying oh, I'm homesick. I miss my friends and family. It's hard to talk to them because of the
certain friends.
It's hard to talk to them because of the time difference,
Well, you and I make it work because we're good friends. But
so I was like,
17 years strong.
Yeah. But anyway, so I was like, yeah. So it's hard to talk to everyone, and then it's hard to talk to people here because I'm the obvious foreigner, blah 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 blah. And she basically not listening at all. She's trying to change the topic randomly, or she's saying random stuff like, oh, this looks good on the menu. I'm like, huh? Are you not why you invite me out if you're not even talking? What was the point of this? What was the point? Because I would assume it's pretty apparent that I have no interest in her because this is only the second time I talked to her, hung out with her in a year. And the only reason is because, I'm thinking, oh, this person just wants to say goodbye kind of thing. And then it's I don't know. I'm like, why do you even invite me out? So
she's pretty much complaining the whole time and not
she's
really
complaining the whole time, not really actually. But here's when it changes. This is when it gets bad. So that whole part of the beginning was just just build up, just rambling. But anyway, so finally I was talking about more stuff because I go back to my what I was talking about anyway, even though she keeps changing because I'm not going to talk about your stupid the menu, what the heck. So I was like, yeah. Anyway, yeah. It's basically I was saying it's hard to kind of feel like you belong because I'm a completely different race, different ethnicity, all that. So I'm like, yeah, there's not that many other black people or Americans here. And she was like, oh, is it that you want more of your kind of thing? I was like, no, it's not really. I want more black people. Even just a white person would be nice to hang out with because it's that American culture I miss, that the way of talking because people don't talk about the same stuff.
You had McDonald's.
And the McDonald's has no salt. That's all I gotta say. It doesn't even have salt. The fries are literally just potatoes.
But you were telling me how you enjoy the luscious lips of the fish earlier. You were do you not eat the fish?
I need to take a picture of those fish. I need to take a picture because it's insane. But anyway, I'm not gonna say that. I'll say that when I finally am back. I'll talk about that stuff. But anyway.
Just make sure you make a note of it so you don't forget.
Oh, I won't forget anything that's happened here. I'm not even joking. I probably have PTSD, like unironically. Like I'm not even joking. Probably have PTSD. Like I probably will not be able to look. Well, I'm not gonna say too much. But anyway, so when I was saying that, when I was saying, oh, like saying all that about like, it's just hard to like find, like it's hard to feel like I belong. It feels like I'm like a little isolated and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then she was like, oh, you like, I guess that because I was talking about black people or whatever, and I was saying like specifically American black people. She's like, I have a boyfriend, right? I was like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I know. Isn't he like African or something? And she's like, no, he's black. And you know how I feel about, how long I've been talking about this thing. So I was like, oh, no, he's African. He's not really black. I don't really count him as black. And that's when the conversation shifted. That's when it all went to mess. All because of that one little thing. So she's like, no, he's British though. I was like, okay, like, yeah, he's British. He's not black though. He's like British African or whatever. And she's starting to get offended for her boyfriend, even though I'm the black woman. I'm black. I think I know what I'm talking about. But she's like, oh, no. Oh, so you're saying, you guys both have the same skin color. You're both black. I was like, just because we have the same skin color, like black is more than just the looks or like I'm like, and by calling everyone black, like I wasn't like arguing with her. I was seeing it as like an educational opportunity. I was like, by calling everyone black, it just diminishes the cultures of everyone because you're now like lumping in every person with like Africanized ancestors into one pot. Whereas like we have different cultures, like say the black history is completely different. Like it's a different struggle. It's just like, oh, so you're saying they don't struggle. And I was like, I mean, I don't know, maybe they don't. Because I was like,
Jabari, they have to fight lions and we don't. Come on, they struggle. Okay? You cannot diminish their struggle.
Okay, I guess.
They have to catch their own food, and we do not.
Because I was like, their struggle is more self-harm kind of thing. Because they trolled themselves by going into like being colonized after selling us. They sold us for the cheap and then got colonized right after. So I was like, they like basically saying like, say, they go through racism or they go through like, poverty or whatever, but it's because of their own people doing it, similar to like how India is. It's like India went through a struggle, but it's their own people that's like struggling their own people.
Yeah.
Like meanwhile, like black Americans, the racism, like time, the super racism time, like the slavery to civil rights, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't us doing it to ourselves. It was kind of like a whole, like we were minorities.
Yeah.
Being like oppressed kind of thing. So it's a little different. It's a different kind of struggle. It's a different kind of culture too because, we are Americans. We're not African.
We struggled for like,
we lost that history.
We struggled for about like 300-400 years. Like after a while, doesn't that sound like a choice to you?
I already knew what you're going to say. The moment you said anything, I knew what you were going. But anyway, so I was like trying to, like, I wasn't really bashing the Africans, at least not as hard as I am now. I was saying it in a more clean way. Basically what I'm saying now, where I was like trying to educate, like being like, okay, our cultures are a little different, like similar to like how there are Asians, Korean, Chinese have similar cultures, similar histories, but we distinguish them differently. Like, you would be trolled to call a Korean a Chinese or Chinese a Korean. Like you'd be like, oh yeah, that's kind of racist. In the same way, Africans aren't black. Like just because we look similar, then what? Like that's not how it works. But she was getting all mad. She's getting all frustrated, like basically trying to make it like this thing. Like I don't know. I think she personally, I know a lot of people who are like this here. I think she made having a black or an African boyfriend or what she perceives to be black. She made it her personality that's her boyfriend because I guess it's like a little more rare because there's not as many Africanized people here. So she made it her personality. Wait, Deontay? You seem like you froze.
Why did it freeze? Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Oh, it kind of froze. You look kind of stupid.
Okay.
Turn your camera back on. I want to see you.
No, it's great. It's great. Continue.
Anyway, she made it her personality, so she's getting pissed from me basically saying that her boyfriend's not black. Like that's the thing that's pissing her off. Is me saying her boyfriend's not black and not like backing down on it. Because, I'm not going to let an African think that they are the same culture. It's just not. That's not how it works. just because, we both have Afro type hair. Because it was a very recent past where they didn't even want to be considered black. They wanted to be considered African. They didn't even want to be like connected to American black people because American black people equaled gangster, shooters, killers, poverty, ghetto. So Africans, even say people in the islands, like how Dominicans are, where they're like, oh, I know black, I'm Dominican. Like no one wanted to be considered black. But now that rap and entertainment got cool, now everyone wants to say they're black now. Like now they want to leech off of the culture. So I'm not gonna let her say that her boyfriend's black when he's not. And he's not even African. He's British African. So he barely even counts as like he's British. That's even worse. Don't even say you have American culture. You're British. Jesus. But anyway, so she's getting pissed, even though I'm not talking to her like how I'm talking to you. I'm a little more calm, of course. But she's getting pissed. So then she stops talking completely, and then she starts typing on her phone. Like I'm just sitting there eating my food silently, watching her just type on, like she has it like right in her face, just typing, like blocking me with her phone and then typing on her phone. Like I guess maybe typing her boyfriend or typing her friend, like, complaining or whatever, or venting in front of me. That's the weird thing, like at dinner. So I'm like, what the heck? So I'm like waiting a while, like say 2 minutes pass, same thing, 3 minutes pass. And then I'm like, I'm not going to wait for that 5 minutes. I'm like, this is a waste of my time. So I start like, I start putting away my bag or whatever, putting my bag around my back. I put on my mask. And she's like, what, are you leaving? I was like, yeah, like, we stopped eating. We're not talking or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I thought we're done. And she's like, well, I wasn't done. And then she starts like nipping at her food. I'm like, what the heck is this? So I'm like, okay, well, I'm done. And then she gets up all quickly. She's like, well, you're paying for this. And then she just leaves the restaurant. And she tells the server he's paying, and then just leaves the restaurant and walks out. And I'm sitting there like, what the heck? I can't believe this just happened. Because that just shocked me. Like I never had that happen in well, of course, it's not like I had that many opportunities for something insane like that to happen. But still, I never had something crazy like that happen before where I'm like, she invited me. That's the crazy part. Like when you invite someone, usually either you pay or you take half. Like, you pay for your own meal. Like that's the thing also people misconstrue about like, men paying for the meal. It's not because men are supposed to pay. It's because usually the man invites the girl. So if you're going to invite someone, usually you pay. Because, it's kind of like you're asking them to come with you, like taking time out of their day to come to you. So like that's the incentive is that you pay for them.
Right.
Because, maybe they wouldn't have gone either way. But she's the one inviting me. And she ordered her own stuff. Like, I don't really eat that much.
Yeah.
In the first place. So now I'm stuck with this $40, like it's not like I can't pay $40, but it's the fact that I shouldn't be paying.
It's the principle of it.
But she just leaves. Yeah, so she just leaves, and I go to the server, because I'm in shock. I don't know what to do with this. I'm like, I sent her one message on Instagram. It's like, you need to come back and pay your thing. But of course she's not going to answer that. So then I was going to try to tell the server, like, hey, I'm paying just for my room, and she's going to come back. But I think that because she already said that I'm paying and then left, they knew that, like, she's not coming back. So then, I was like, there's nothing I can really do. I can't really just leave. I can't make a scene. Like, I could make a scene and say I'm not paying, but, it's not worth it because I'm leaving. So I'm not going to cause any drama and make it where I need to stay any longer than I need to. Two is like I stand out. Like, they're going to know who I am. Like, there's not that many people who look like me. So they're going to know instantly. Like, there's nothing I can run away from.
Yeah.
But her, she blends in with the crowd. I probably couldn't even find her the moment she leaves. She's gone. So, there's nothing I could do. So I had to pay. But, I blocked her on everything right after. That doesn't really matter. But still, I still blocked her on everything that matters. But just the fact, that's insane to me. That's how people are here. Like, where it's like, that's insane.
Well,
where all it took was a black person telling her that what she thought was, because again, I think because people here, a lot of people here do not like it here, but they're stuck. That's kind of the sucky thing. Like, I have the opportunity to leave because I'm not from here, but everyone else, they're kind of stuck. So they kind of grab onto whatever kind of like international they can, like, so they can kind of be in that world of like not here, because Hong Kong is such a small city and such a like, there's only so much you can see. It's almost like an island.
Yeah.
Well, there is an island, but like you can't really like, because this is quote own country too. So you can't really leave, like you say, going to mainland that's right next door. It's a process. It's not like you're going to a different city. It's like literally going to a different country. You have to cross a border. You have to do the border crossing. You have to check your bags. There's a process to it. So you're basically stuck on Hong Kong, this small little place that's smaller than even Chesapeake. It's small. You can walk across all of Hong Kong in probably 10 hours. You can casually walk and cross the entire city in 10 hours.
Yeah.
Which is not that long. That means it might be like 6 miles.
And that's like what, you said by walking or by driving?
By walking.
That's
just walking.
Crazy.
Like a casual walk. So like the length of the entire city is probably like 8 miles max. 8 miles max. And I'm saying like a casual walk.
Yeah.
Like if you were like, really speed walking, you probably walk the whole city in like maybe 5 hours, I guess. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know how fast a mile takes usually. I'm assuming like 20 minutes per mile. But anyway. But yeah, because people are stuck, like for her, it doesn't matter that that guy was actually like literally African. And even if he was British, chances are he was first generation or second generation British. Like, he was a recent immigrant. Like his parents immigrated and then they had him.
Yeah.
Or something. But to her, he is what she sees on TV. He is like Will Smith, or he is like Drake or whatever. Or say me. Like, where it's like, oh, these are black people, this is blah, 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 blah. So when I kind of ruined her fantasy that this guy is not actually black, he's African. And maybe they don't want to like acknowledge that that's African because, African kind of now, well, I guess always, but still African kind of signifies poverty and poor or whatever. She'd rather be like, oh no, he's like the cool trap rappers. So when I said, no, he's not black, he doesn't have the same culture as me.
At all.
It pissed her off. It's similar to like, I don't know, like if you dated, like if some person was dating like an Asian girl and he really wanted this girl to be Japanese because maybe he just really wanted because he really likes anime, and then someone comes up to him like an Asian person's like, no, she's not, she's Filipino, she's not like similar to us, like we're the same race but we're not the same culture, and then he gets pissed because he was in the fantasy that this is a Japanese girl. But yeah. But it's still crazy. Like, that's still insane. Like, I don't care how mad I am. I'm not going to make someone pay for my meal like that.
So
and just walk out.
So let me make sure I understand. She wanted to hang out.
She asked me.
To save her farewell.
She sent me the message.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys go out.
At least that's what I assume.
She is complaining about everything. And like every restaurant.
Like literally
until you guys get to like.
Where it's kind of awkward.
Exactly. Until you guys get to like a nice place to like eat and dine. And then when you guys are there, she's talking about her boyfriend or asking like why you want to leave, blah, blah, blah. Then she brings up her boyfriend and.
No, not even ask. She asks kind of why I want to leave and then doesn't listen. Like she's just asking just the like.
I forgot that part. So she asked and didn't listen. So she pretty much wasn't attentive to the conversation whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she got upset because you told her boyfriend does not have the same culture as you.
Yep. And then she starts texting, like I guess out of anger, like venting to her friend or saying, oh, this guy's an idiot. This is what he said. Right in front of me. So I'm just sitting there for like, while she's just texting. Like she just stops talking and she starts texting. And then, because I even ended it like this. This is how I ended the conversation. Like when we were before the texting.
Yeah.
I didn't yell. I wasn't even yelling. There was no yelling. That's the crazy. That's why it's still in shock. Because if there was yelling, okay, then it'd be different. Like, it still would be messed up that she just leaves and doesn't pay you.
Yeah.
But, it would be a little, like, there would be a fault on me, too. But I was trying to be calm about it. And I even said, like, oh, I guess this is just too complicated a topic to talk about because there's a lot of history in it. But no, just text.
And she didn't like
pissed. I don't know what I don't know what was up with her that day. I don't know what type of like hormones or whatever. It maybe not hormones, just because I know that's like a catch-all for like when a girl acts insane. Maybe she's just insane. Maybe it's just that she's just insane, like a lot of people here. But yeah, when I was just like, that's insane that it took that turn, and then she doesn't pay for her meal. So that means, like, I was telling another friend, the one friend who is probably tied with you with the equal amount of talking.
Oh, no, not tied. I'm higher than them, but continue.
But anyway, I was telling them, and what she said was that it could have been that this girl just wanted a free meal, basically. That's it. But I'm like, I don't know if that's true. Because if she just wanted a free meal, why ask me? That's the weird. Like, why ask? Like, she could have asked any other time in the past, I guess. She asked specifically now, when I was about to leave.
Maybe she wanted to shoot her shot.
And she has a boyfriend. That could have been a chance. Maybe. It could have been. I would not be surprised, actually.
You know?
I would not be surprised.
And then...
And maybe because it pissed her... Maybe that's what pissed her off. Is because she was trying to shoot her shot. And I was not falling for it at all. Like, I was just talking to her like normal.
And then, on top of that, you discredited her boyfriend.
Yeah, afterwards. Which is still crazy to me. Everything about it.
You know, Jabari, I really wish I could have experienced Hong Kong with you.
No, you don't.
Why?
I'm not even joking when I say I literally have PTSD. Like, it'll probably take a couple years for me to fully get over everything that happened. And there would be times, literally, where it'll probably be a future podcast, I'm probably calling it now, where I'll constantly be trying to relate it to Hong Kong. Like, oh, that reminds me when I did this. Oh, that reminds me when this happened. That reminds me of that. Because it's hard to get it out. Like, it reminds me of how someone who went through war, where they have literal PTSD from the war. And they can't talk to anyone about it because no one really understands and no one wants to hear you complain about the war every day or talk about, like, the stuff you went through every day. Because to them, it all sounds the same, and no, they don't really care because they didn't go through it. But to the person who went through it, they want to say it because they've been keeping it in for so long. Like, say me, I could tell no one. There's no one else who understands. So I just want to let it out, but no one understands, so it doesn't matter. So the only way I can, like, I don't know, where I could get over it is if there was someone else I knew who also literally went to Hong Kong, had the same exact feeling, and then we could just complain all day about it until it gets boring.
Well, because it's any consolation, I mean, from talking to you almost every day that you've been in Hong Kong, I feel like I've been to Hong Kong with you. But it's not the same, obviously, because I didn't actually experience all the torment.
There's so many things, but I can't say it because walls have ears.
Well,
What?
And what's worse is that you have not even seen Jackie Chan once.
See, I was thinking about, I mean, I've already told you, but there's probably a reason. That's all I'm going to say. There's probably a reason. He did not come back. That's all I'm going to say. And he was one of the rich ones, too.
Well,
he was rich.
I'll say it for you. I'm just kidding. Imagine I said that, like...
I mean, you can say it, because no one can hear what you said.
No. Because out of nowhere, as soon as I start saying it, all you'll hear is, or all we will hear is, wait. And I'm going to get so freaking scared. I'm going to say, Jabari, I'm gone.
Man, it's just insane. Like, I'm surprised. I think the only reason I have not gotten, like, a crazy amount of wrinkles, at least I don't think, or I'm scared about my forehead, or this, because I'm always like this.
Hold on. Yeah. You're always so tense.
Like, this is exactly how my face is every time I walk. Because it's just, because people just stare. I'll talk about it later.
No, talk about it now. Just talking code.
No.
Just talking code.
No.
I said...
Okay, this is the only thing I can say.
Oh.
Imagine you're playing Grand Theft Auto and how the NPCs act. You know, where, for example, like, or say Skyrim or something. You know how the NPCs are, like, where you walk by them until you walk past.
Yeah.
And then they'll, like, you know, it'll track your head, like, say if you're going like this.
Jabari.
Hello, sport. I was saying that it's similar, like, you know how in Skyrim, like, where they'll walk past you. and then like it'll detect you, like the game will detect that you're close enough to an NPC, and they'll just. It's it's literally like that, or like say where people will do like I swear I've seen people repeat animations. I've seen repeated animations like where say the bus stops, and 3 people at the same time get up at the same time with the same exact like way of getting up. I've seen it. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. I've literally become schizo being here. I always think someone's listening. I always think someone's watching.
Well, let me tell you this.
And chances are they are.
You are leaving in 13 days. How does that make you feel?
Let me look at the exact number. Just to feel good. What is this? 13 days, 23 hours, 5 minutes, and 37 seconds.
So 14 days, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's not bad. Jabari,
It's pretty bad.
Okay, yes, but in the grand scheme, it could be another month, right? It's just one more pay period, and then you're done.
It could be. That is true. Also, it's not a pay period. They don't do every 2 weeks here. They do once a month. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have left a long time ago.
There's so much I want to say. Like, there's so much. But
like the last time we were on the phone, not on the podcast, but the last time we were on the phone last week, I'll say it again. I know the first podcast episode of you like unpacking everything is going to be like 5 hours long.
Yeah, I probably won't be able to leave at that point because I will say too much at that point. There'll be too much.
When you get back, when you finally get back and you can talk about everything, I want the viewers to know now. It is going to be a very detailed, very, very detailed episode.
And what's crazy is that detail will only be the stuff that I remember. There's so much that's happened that I don't even remember some of the stuff that happened. Because that's the thing. That's the thing that's been so annoying is that it never stops. The only time it stops, kind of, is when I finally get back in the house or into the apartment. That's when it finally stops. Where I can breathe. My eyebrows are crunched together, but then there's a barking dog across. So I don't know, but still,
they won't be barking long.
So it's my only time, right? I'm like, finally, I feel at peace. But in a moment, I step out. The eyebrows crunch. I feel pissed at the world. I hate everything. And then it's minute by minute. It's like every hour something else. Everything, like there was something that happened on the MTR today. I mean, I complained to the other friend who is probably tied or might be beating you with the amount of spam I sent them.
Beating me is not an option, Jabari.
But
so you and I are gonna have a long talk about that. That's unacceptable.
Anyway, so like at the MTR, the train. So for example, today, this is something I didn't even tell you because I didn't think it was like worth telling you because it's not really funny. Hello. I think we broke up. That was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. But so that means you didn't hear what I said. I said I'm glad you're suffering. Hello, can you hear me, Jabari?
Hello. I think we broke up again.
Okay.
Okay. Man, it's connection, you know. But anyway, I was on the train. This is something I didn't think was funny enough or worth enough to tell you, like interesting enough. But still, I was on the train, minding my own business, pissed at the world like usual. And usually I'll just get to the window, or not the window, but like I'll stand at the door. So then I don't have anyone in my peripherals. I'll stand at the door, just look outside the window, at the door of the train.
Not peripheral.
Anyway, looking at the door. But then there's this one girl. I think personally, I'll tell you the story first. So she is like, you know, when I get on the train, she starts talking all excitedly to her friend. I don't know what she's saying, but she's moving back and forth, doing all this stuff, and her book bag keeps bumping into me. So I'm like, you know, because I at this point I just don't even care anymore, like about serious stuff. So she's bumping into me, and I move my arm, like, wait, can you see it? So I move it like that to push her book bag away. So it's known.
Do the movement one more time.
So it's known that I'm here, that I'm boom. So that it's known that I'm here and that her book bag is bumping into me. But so when I move my elbow or whatever to kind of push it away, she looks back for a millisecond and then goes back to like talking, and it keeps bumping into me. So you know me, I'm like, I already know how this is going to go. She's just going to keep doing it. It doesn't matter how hard I push, or like if I push, or if I do like actually push, then it's going to turn to this whole thing. Like, I don't know, I push hard and then she flies into like a table or something. And then everyone's like, oh my gosh, the black man just pushed this fair lady, and then I get killed. So I was like, okay, let me just move to the left. So I moved to the left, maybe a person width away from her, because she keeps bumping into me with the book bag. Can you predict what happens? I think everyone can. She starts moving back towards me, so the gap gets small again, and she starts bumping into me with the book bag again. So I'm like, what the heck? Like, why is this happening? So I kind of push my elbow again, and at this point, she steps on my foot. Well, I mean, she doesn't like purposely step on my foot, but she's that close where she stepped on my foot because she's like moving around so much.
Yeah.
So luckily, it's the final station, so I leave. But I'm like, the fact that even happened, because my belief of why that happened, just to give a whole final, like, the reason I even said that, is because I think people want my attention. Say that one dude, the dude of Southeast Asian ethnicity, that has to do with
the one that stuck his hand in your
I can't talk about that yet until I'm back, just in case.
No, is this a simple yes or no? Just simple yes or no?
Potentially. I don't think I ever told that story in the podcast.
Oh, you mean
Luckily, I'm the editor of the podcast, so I can just cut that out. But anyway, so similar to that, I think people want my attention because I purposely ignore everything now. Like, I look straight ahead. Like, people will look like I don't even acknowledge people's existence when I walk now, because it's become so annoying. So I don't like, that's why I wonder, like, when I go back to the States, like, if I, like, certain stuff that won't be changed. Like, rather I will just ignore people's existence fully. So because I ignore,
how come you never look into the camera of the podcast? I mean, the camera of your phone when talking.
Well, because oh crap, my phone's about to run out.
Oh, thank you. I got everything I needed. But continue.
Anyway,
you said your phone's about to run out of battery?
It was a good run, everyone. It was a good run.
What's wrong?
Nothing, you know. So anyway, as I was saying, I think people want my attention, and because I don't get, like, I was complaining to my mom about the potential. How do I explain it without saying it? I mean, by the time this podcast is uploaded, I'll be back in the States, but still, how do I say it without the group members that are in a similar location as me when I am receiving income? Why they act so crazy and weird is because, like, at least my mom says, because I act so mysterious and they're so, like, interested because, you know, I'm this foreigner who came, but I don't talk to anyone. I literally don't talk to anyone in that general location where people of similar standard of doing things for a salary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk to literally anyone. I eat alone and I eat as far away from the building as possible. So I'm like this mystery. So which makes people even more curious because they want to solve this like mystery. Like, who knows what they actually think, like what they think I do. Or like, rather I'm rich, or like I'm a spy or something, because I don't talk to anyone. And, you know, everyone always asks, why'd you come to Hong Kong? Like, they're actually truly confused why I came. You know, this random black American who came to Hong Kong for tech. We're just like, that doesn't seem like like, you know, especially when people in America get paid more. I mean, people in America ask me the same question too, but still, people doubly ask it here because it actually confuses them. And then I don't talk to anyone. So because of that, people want my attention. They want to, like, kind of poke at the bear and see a reaction because I don't react to anything. I don't talk to anyone. I don't pay attention to anyone. I'm a mystery. So the reason why people act insane is because I don't act insane, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to, like, say, a cool person. Like, you know, the cool, mysterious, like Sasuke.
So now you're Sasuke.
Sadly.
It's okay. I'll be Naruto.
Ooh.
I'm not coming back.